Welcome to Big Daddy Sports, where I'm your host, Big Daddy.
I'm Jenkins.
We're back with you for another week of NFL topics and the goings on in the NFL. Last week in the NFL was kind of dead. We're hoping for bigger and better things this week. Can't believe that the Colts gave up 62 points.
You keep scoring? Do you put third string in? The third string keeps scoring? I
don't know what happened with the Colts, but we got a lot to get to. Let's jump right in it. Tebow magic happened again.
Tebow, last 3 minutes. It only takes 3 minutes for Tebow to get to work. We can't believe it. Lad, 2 touchdowns, you come back overtime. My favorite moment, beginning of overtime, Kyle Orton's on the sideline, but yet he's calling the coin toss. That was great. He had to participate in this game, but the victory truly goes to Tebow and the rest of the Denver Broncos. Fox is backing him. He's going to get better. We're seeing him progressively get better every time. It's unorthodox, but he's winning games. He's taking that Gator mentality from college and moving it straight to the NFL. I'm going to win.
That first 57 minutes was a hot ghetto mess. That first 57 minutes may have been the worst quarterbacking I've seen ever. Wide open receivers. He had more completions to the guys on the sideline than he did to his own receivers through the first 55 minutes.
No interceptions.
No turnovers. I'll give you that. An overthrow is better than an underthrow any day of the week. But what I'll say is this, is that when we get on Tony Romo, it's for what he does late and the mistakes he made, and it overlooks everything he did early. So you can kind of overlook what Tebow did early because of what he did late. As Herm Edwards says, you play to win the game, and they won. I don't know how they won. It's never been done before since 1960 that you're down by 15 with 3 minutes to go, and you come back to win the game. But it happened. So I give him his props. I just don't know if they can continue to play like this. They have to come up. I think you got to go spread, shotgun the whole game. Because that's when he caught on fire. You can't tell him I formation, hand it off, drop back. That's not who he is. Big test this week. Ndamukong Suh is coming to town. And
Definitely. I think, yes, you're right. You cater to him. If you got to turn this to the Gators football, get Urban Myers as a consultant to come down and cater this, he's going to win. Give him all the tools and the formations that he can to make sure he wins.
It's a work in progress, but with that first start, he got a W. You got to give him that. Next up, Flacco. What happened to your boy Flacco? Because I'm off the bandwagon. I can tell you that right now.
All of Baltimore is not wacko for Flacco anymore. I don't know. The confidence, we've seen this over the last 4 years. He's hot, he's on fire, then you throw a game away. And then this time, all right, both offenses, I told y'all last week it was going to be a low-scoring game, but Flacco, the ball's in your hands at the end of the game, you throw a pick. Every time it's in his hands, I remember a Cleveland game he came back at the end of the game. I don't remember many games where he's actually come back and win the game. You got Ray Lewis on the sideline just, I've done it. We kept him down to 12 points. We just need the offense to score. And he's not producing. I don't think he's getting an extension after this. I think he's going to be gone from Baltimore.
I want to step away from this and be objective and not just be a fan. And objectively speaking, you see the flashes. You see the arm, you see the movement in the pocket. You don't see the consistency. And honestly, when it comes to Monday, there's a lot of questions. It's not just Flacco. The wide receivers weren't getting open. There was no separation. We only ran the ball 12 or 13 times with Ray Rice. Now, Ray Rice is the engine that makes that offense go. So if you're not getting Ray the ball, Flacco's not in a position yet to say, go win me a football game. And everybody knows that. We want him to be that, but he's not that.
How long does that take, though? 4 years, and I still can't trust you to be...
That's fair.
The reason why he hasn't gotten an extension is because this was proven year. Some guys go in second, third string, I'm going to give you a second, third year, I'm going to give you an extension. They're still waiting for him to prove it. Right now, it's like, if you won't go to the Super Bowl, you're not getting an extension.
Well, what's unfair, it's fair to want him to step up because it is his 4th year. And he's been in this system the whole time. And most quarterbacks don't get that privilege.
Same offensive coordinator.
Everything. But he's compared to Roethlisberger. And as much as I hate to say it, Roethlisberger is a top 10 quarterback in this league. And I don't know if Flacco's going to be a top 10 quarterback. Can you win a championship with a non-top 10 quarterback? Well, the Ravens have done it before. But I don't know if the NFL is set up for you to do that now. It's a quarterback passing-driven league, and the Ravens defense can only do so much. As you saw Monday night, they were on the field forever. I mean, they held them to 12 points, but they were on the field forever. And they're just asking the offense to extend drives, give us rest. And if he can't do that, that Jaguars defense is good, but it's not the Steelers defense. And oh, guess what? The Patriots, who you might see in the playoffs, Belichick's getting that defense together too, and they're getting stingy. So he's going to see better defenses in the playoffs. The question is, will he be able to perform better? Now, with all that being said, I have to hasten back to, it's been on the road that he struggled this year. The Tennessee game, the whole team didn't show up. We in Jacksonville for Monday night. This win saved Del Rio's job, and we'll get to that later. But this win saved the man's job. So the team came out and played well. You also got to look to the other side and say, he beat a Houston team that held the Steelers to 10 points. It's the same defense. He played them, and the Ravens put up a lot of points. So it's styles make fights, and so the style kind of hampered from what he does, but he's got to show more because that was his moment. That could have been Joe Flacco coming out and saying, I'm here, I'm ready, and he came up small.
Definitely. Same bad game, just like Tebow. Tebow wins last 3 minutes. You get a 2-minute drill down the field, and you can't do it.
If he drives downfield at the end, all is forgiven, but he didn't. And winning is what makes the difference. We'll see what he does this week versus Arizona. Next up, this Sunday night, we have Romo and the Dallas Cowboys, versus Vic and the Philadelphia Eagles. Right now, if you had to pick one quarterback, who you taking, Vic or Romo?
Well, Romo's handcuffed right now, so I'm going to go ahead and take Michael Vick.
But we're not talking about Jason Garrett. We're talking about if you, one quarterback, one game, who you taking?
You know, I like a quarterback that can run, that can scramble, extend the play. Not that Tony Romo doesn't extend the play. I'll take Michael Vick.
Why? I'll take Michael Vick. Why?
I take Michael Vick because one, he can run and extend the play. He can be a leader on offense. He's injury prone, but to me, he has the tools in order to win. He had we put him on any team, leaving him on the Eagles, He has the tools on offense to win consistently.
Vic has a better arm. Vic is more athletic. But I'm going with Romo. And I'm going with Romo because I think Romo is a more natural quarterback, one. And secondly, I think Romo could fit in any system. I don't think there's a system you can put Tony Romo in and say he's going to struggle. Mike Vick had to come in and he's getting acclimated to the West Coast offense, and he's getting acclimated to an offense they ran in Atlanta that he should know some of already. So I just think Romo, as far as the passing game goes, Vick's arm is better. I'm not questioning that. But Romo makes quicker, better reads, and I think in regular season games in crunch time has been okay. So if you give me one game, I'm going to take Romo over Vic.
Well, we'll see this week, won't we?
Yeah. Well, I think I'm going to lean towards Romo because he has Rob Ryan's defense and Vic has Juan Castillo's defense. And that's going to be the difference. It won't be these quarterbacks. Next up we have, which contract is worse? The contract extension of Chris Johnson or the contract extension of Kevin Kolb?
Both were horrible. I'm going to go with Kevin Kolb because you invested in someone you didn't see. Man, Chris Johnson's been doing this for a couple years now. He's proved that he's worth the money. Now it looks like a bad investment now this season. But Kevin Kolb, you went in kind of blind. He had a couple starts. He was injury prone. He got sold because he was working out with Fitzgerald. You know, they were leaning towards this team, this trade with him. But he hasn't produced. I'm not going to put it all on him because they need wide receiver help as well. Fitzgerald can't do it on his own. But Kolb is making misreads. He's not doing what you expected him to do. You paid him like he was a veteran. Now, one thing, he's basically a rookie coming in here. So if you look at his stats, 7-7, 1,500 yards. You look at the stats, all right, you're basically a rookie. You come in, those aren't bad stats halfway through the season. But look at the money, $65 million over 6 years, and you gave him a 6-year contract. He hasn't proved that he can be a franchise quarterback.
I look at these two deals. I think I don't have a problem with the Chris Johnson deal because he earned his money. Now, what I do have a problem with Chris Johnson is what he said this week. Chris Johnson came out and he said, hey, it's not my fault. I'm not the problem. You can't be the best player on the team, the supposed leader, and throw your offensive line under the bus. You can't do that. So I have a problem with that. The Kevin Kolb deal, it's a market deal. I don't agree with it necessarily, but it's a market deal when they did it, and it's his first year in a new system. So I'm not ready to throw him under the bus. You got to ask Whisenhunt questions, personnel questions on that team. There's a lot of stuff you got to ask. But which deal is worse? It's probably going to end up being the Kevin Kolb deal. Because I think Chris Johnson can get back to the form of old 2,000-yard Chris Johnson. I honestly think they need to tell him to suck it up, put a fullback in there, let a fullback block for him, and that'll open up a lot for him. Kevin Kolb, I'm just not sold on him. I wasn't sold on him before this year, and he hasn't done anything to sell me on him now. So I think Kevin Kolb's the worst deal. Next up, got some coaches on the hot seat. Del Rio, Sperano in Miami, and Whisenhunt in Arizona. Now Del Rio jumped off the hot seat with a huge win. That win may give him the rest of the season. That's how important that win was. But this Sunday, on the sidelines, the Dolphins owner was seen talking to Urban Meyer, and the reports just came out. The Dolphins have already contacted Bill Cowher about their coaching job, and they haven't fired Sperano yet. So I think Sperano's in trouble. And then Whisenhunt, the shine that came off that man quick. 3 years ago, he took a team to the Super Bowl that had never been there before, and he was the greatest thing since sliced bread. And now removed from that, Kurt Warner less, the shine has come off, and they're talking about getting rid of him. Who do you think's in the most trouble?
Right now, well, Sperano's instant. It's over. I hate to see if it was one of those. Bill Cowher comes down, like, Sperano sitting at his desk, he goes, oh, that's going to be your seat. I hate to be that kind of situation, but Sperano, you had the Wildcat. You came out, you did it, then you lost the personnel to the Wildcat, but you didn't replenish that. You brought in Reggie Bush, who
is not an every down back.
Yeah, he's not. He's not going to get it done. You got Brandon Marshall, but quarterback. It's because you're not replenishing what you once had. And the teams, they want a new quarterback. Miami wants to win. They dread going back down to 1-15, so they're going to fix that right now.
They're on their way to 1-15. Cowher's not coming in this year. He'll be there next year, but it's a hot mess in Miami. But Whisenhunt's not off the hook either. This team, the Arizona Cardinals, was supposed to compete for the NFC West. And San Fran came out with basically the same team and caught on fire. So Arizona has made moves, and there was expectations, and they're far from meeting expectations. So his seat is getting hot right now. Next up, how much blame do you put on Coach Hugh Jackson for how he handled his quarterback situation Sunday?
I honestly think he did the best. If you let Kyle Bowler in there, it was going to be still six interceptions, 7 interceptions maybe. I think it was great they had a bye week this week. But at the same time, for Carson, Palmer coming in, I think kind of lowered his morale coming into a losing game.
What did you prove to put him in the game? There was always 3 touchdowns down, and then he comes in and he starts throwing interceptions. The guy was on the couch a week ago, and now you ask him to come in and win you a football game in a system he said out of his mouth, I only know 10%. I think that's totally unfair. Again, now the guy that's coming in looking at as savior, the players are going to question, well, how good is this guy? And it's unfair given he was only in the system 3 days. You got to let Bowler ride it out.
And Hugh Jackson's trying to make the play, game of the week. He was trying, I bring in Carson Palmer, he comes back and wins the game. And if a guy doesn't know the offense, he can't be great in the offense. You got Bush is a good backup, but McFadden's not on the field either.
No, I agree with that.
That really
but with all that being said, You got to go with the guy that was in your system last season and was there all of training camp and this season. I'm not saying Kyle Bowler's great. All Raven fans know what Kyle Bowler can do for you. But at the same time, you've paid this guy. This guy was your backup. He needs to step up and do his job. So
Pryor could have came in there and did a little bit better.
Maybe. But he's only been in the system 2 weeks. So Coach Hugh Jackson was in a weird position on Sunday, but he handled it. It's about as bad as you can handle that situation. Next up, is Detroit in trouble? Now, I told everybody when they were 5-0, don't jump on this. Their expectations have changed, and now they feel it. They're 5-2. Playoff push is supposed to be coming up, and it don't look good right now. And they still got Green Bay twice, Chicago again.
And
is Detroit?
Well, Ponder actually looked good.
So is Detroit in trouble?
You want to be on them. You want to boost their morale, like, oh, they're going to get it together. But Detroit's been here before. You start off great, and then you start tanking the rest of the season. Interceptions increase, injuries increase. Stafford, even though he's been winning, he's been getting injured. He can play with the injuries, but he's been injured every week.
He got hit Sunday. They don't know. This is what scares you. I don't know if it's the knee or the ankle. It's your body, and you don't know if it's the knee or the ankle, there's a problem. What's also a problem in these last 2 games, on third down, they're 3 of 27. That's on the quarterback. 3 of 27. That's not going to get it done. So I'm not saying they're done, but at 5-2 and spiraling, guess they see Tebow magic this Sunday. At his first home start. You lose that game, and everybody's in Detroit. Oh, here we go again. So, huge week for Detroit. Not saying they're in real trouble yet, but it could be coming. Now for the segment you've been waiting for, the picks. I finally got off the schneid last week and won one. We're not gluten yet, but the comeback is starting. The comeback is starting. Let's jump right in. Arizona versus Baltimore.
Flacco better get it together this week or he'll be cut immediately. You got Cole versus Flacco. Flacco got a lot to prove, and you're at home in Baltimore. I'm going to take Baltimore.
I don't think Flacco will have anything to do with this week. I expect between Ray Rice and Ricky Williams there to be 35 runs, and I expect the angry defense. Kevin Kolb, I feel sorry for you. I don't think you're making out of Sunday's game healthy. Taking Baltimore. Minnesota versus Carolina.
Cam's doing it. I want to go with Carolina, but Christian Ponder came in
and did what? Threw under 50% passing, threw some interceptions. He should have had 6 picks. See, don't let the numbers fool you. You got to watch the film. That kid was okay at best.
Okay. McNabb, Christian Ponder against Green Bay. I'm sorry, he did better. I'm saying he's going to develop and learn the system more.
Are they winning?
I'm going to go with Minnesota.
Cam Newton. Look, that's what it is. Cam Newton is shredded every defense he's played pretty much. And he's going to shred the Minnesota Vikings defense. And, I mean, he may meet Jared Allen once or twice, but it won't be enough for Minnesota to win. I'm taking Carolina. Next we have Jacksonville versus Houston.
Jacksonville, great defense. Offense is still not together. The one thing Houston can do, when their defense is playing well, even without Mario Williams, but they can score. And I don't think Schaub's going to have issues like Flacco did against Jacksonville. I'm going to go with Houston.
I think it's going to be tight. I don't know if Arian Fox is going to have a big day. Jacksonville's defense has played really inspired football this season. But I'm taking Houston because they should win this game. They're home. Maybe Sperano's last game versus the Giants.
Well, you didn't hear they got J.P. Losman come in and save the day.
J.P. Lawson hasn't been in the league in 2 years. I just want to throw that out there.
Last complete pass 2008.
He was in the UFL. I mean, Matt Moore's hurt. Sage Rosenfels has a mysterious disease. So J.P. Lawson is your backup quarterback and your starter's injured. And now you got to face O.C. Umenyior and Pierre Paul and
Justin Tuck returned to practice this week.
Giants,
New York. Yeah.
Giants. That ain't hard. New Orleans versus St. Louis. Can they drop 62 again on another winless team?
I think they're going to be a little tired this week. They did a lot of scoring last week. I'm going to go 40 points. I'm going New Orleans.
I agree, 40 burger. And they're dropping 40 on St. Louis, and it won't be close. Indianapolis versus Tennessee.
This is a hard game because I just don't know. Both teams can play great, but at the same time, we're not seeing consistency. More consistency with Matt Hasselbeck, so I'm going to go with Tennessee.
I think, honestly, for Tennessee, this could be a trap game. You come in there off a rough loss last week, and then Indy comes off the embarrassment, wanting to prove they haven't quit. I could see Indy winning this game, but I'm going to go with Tennessee.
I swear Indy quit like 4 games ago, but okay.
Washington versus Buffalo.
Buffalo off the bye week. They're going to be missing Sean Marion the rest of the season, but I still think they're going to get a win at home.
I think they're home. I haven't seen anything from John Beck to say he's the savior in Washington. And last week, Washington's defense didn't look that great either, so I'm going with Buffalo. This game didn't look like nothing a couple of weeks ago. Now, Detroit versus Tebow Mania in Denver.
I'm going with Tebow. Detroit is on a meltdown. Tebow is on the way up. Unorthodox as he may be, he's going to win.
I don't know that Tebow can score enough points to win this game. But there's something special about this kid. I don't know what it is. I'm going with Denver. New England versus Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh still got some injuries on defense. I'm going to go with New England. Tom Brady.
I think this is a 38-35 game. I don't expect much defense in this game. But the difference is going to be in tight ends that New England has. When you have Hernandez and Gronkowski, there's not too many defenses in the league that can cover those two guys. They run like wide receivers. Then James Harrison is still hurt. They going to try to blitz Brady? As quick as he gets the ball out of his hand? Nah, I'm going with New England in this one. Cincinnati versus Seattle.
Andy Dalton is doing well. The defense is playing well. Number 3 in the league. I'm going to go with Cincinnati.
We've been saying all year that, they need to play Charlie Whitehurst in Seattle. And guess what?
I retract that statement.
That was no better. It may have been worse. Cleveland versus Seattle on Sunday is the worst game I've seen all season long. My goodness. Seattle's defense is playing well, though. They are holding teams down offensively. However, I think Cincinnati finds a way to win this game on the road. Cleveland versus San Francisco.
Now, I'm a fan of Colt McCoy, baby Favre. But San Francisco's on fire. Alex Smith's gotten together. Jim Harbaugh's got them to playing at a new level. I'm going with San Francisco at home.
Baby Favre is going to struggle, but he's going to be introduced to a young man by the name of Patrick Willis, who may be the best up-and-coming linebacker in this league. San Fran wins at home. Sunday night, Dallas versus Philly.
We already told you, I'm going with Michael Vick, quarterback.
I think Vick's going to pick up huge numbers because he's going to run. There's only so much you can do with Vick. You got to try to contain him. But I think team-wise, Dallas is the better team, and so I think Dallas wins this game on the road. Monday night, San Diego versus KC.
This is hard. Philly really got a lot to prove. You let your coach down last week. It was a battle of egos, and Rex Ryan actually won.
He has not looked like himself this season. I don't know. I picked San Diego to go to the Super Bowl. I'm not jumping off that just yet. But he has not looked like the quarterback who we were putting in the upper echelon of quarterbacks this year. So I don't know what's up with that. You think he gets it back this week?
I'm going with Kansas City.
I guess you don't think he gets it back. I don't either. I'm also picking Kansas City. So those are our picks. We'll see how it goes. Next up, fantasy. Here we go. Bye weeks. Falcons, Bears, Packers, Jets, Raiders, and Bucks. If you got them, sit them. Don't want to get caught not getting points. Next up, we have play Cam versus the Minnesota defense. I already told you, Cam's been thrown on everybody. Antoine Winfield's still hurt. So that secondary Minnesota, not so good. Next up, play the Baltimore defense. They're going to be angry. Arizona offensive line isn't great. Beanie Wells is a so-so for this game. So Kevin Carr could be in a lot of trouble. Next up is the New York Giants offense versus the Miami defense. The Giants are not going to throw incomplete to wide open receivers like Tebow did. Eli Manning should have lanes to throw through all day. I'm going with the Giants offense. So if you can get anybody in the offense, go get them. Who you got?
I got New York Giants defense. Miami's not scoring at all. J.P. Lawson's going to throw nothing but picks.
If he plays, but yeah.
Reggie Bush ain't going to get nothing. Play New York Giants defense. I also got Cincinnati's defense. Seahawks couldn't score last week at all. Cincinnati's going to come in there number 3 defense in the league. They're going to take control. Go with Cincinnati defense. And if you got Drew Brees, of course, keep him in the game. Drew Brees can win this game on his bye week.
That's how good the New Orleans offense is playing right now. That's all we have for you this week. Don't forget, hit us up on Twitter at BigDaddieK6. That's BigDaddie6. And
LB Jenkins. Light Bright J.
As you can see, we all had to stutter bug at the end of the show, but we hope to see you next week.